In my room, I asked her about what she liked, what words to use. She told me not to call her penis a willy, and I laughed because I couldn't imagine ever saying that word out loud. But then I stopped when I realized that she learned that boundary from experience. After, I told her about how much I had wanted to give her a blowjob at the W, and she had wondered if we would, but also couldn't figure out what to do with the single bed situation. She was still drinking from the bottle of water she took from the hotel room. I really liked her. We texted a lot after that. One night I was trying to make a comics deadline, which always sends me into a crazed fervor. She was at a party but asked to come over. I needed to work all night but could take a makeup break. She was dressed like a horror show bloody nurse, thick layers of makeup and glitter stuck in her slight stubble, stinking like hell of hairspray. She had a bottle of children's Tylenol rolled into her bangs to give the dew both shape and rattle. That's how she rolls. We made out, me holding my breath against the hairspray, but letting my hands roam free. She left to meet friends, and I got back to my maniacal ink-stained hell. An hour later, I got a call. Could she come back? Of course. I don't know why I left. She was tired, so I got her a pillow, and she fell asleep on the couch in her bloody nurse mayhem, her body drifting up and down like the tides while I worked until dawn from across the room. Every once in a while, I put down my paper and kissed her face while she slept, and it felt like happiness to me, the night spent in making art with the girl I loved, messy and sexy and peaceful, keeping me quiet company while I worked. At 7, I put away my pens and shook her into the pink light of morning. Let's go to bed. She taught me a lot. She taught me that it was not enough to be attracted to or supportive of large-bodied, chubby, fat, exotic people, not enough to tolerate shit-talking from, not enough not to tolerate shit-talking from others about body size, but that if I continued to disparage myself about my own belly and arms and thighs with words like fat, it was doing a disservice to everyone else as well. I was feeding into the fucked up system. It was such a relief to date someone else who did sex work. I never had to coddle her about what I did with my clients. She loved hearing the funny parts and respected my relationships with my clients. I loved visiting her at work after a long session, dressed up like a fancy adult woman, dropping a doggy bag into her lap and telling her the story while watching her eat one of the perks of dating a whore, occasional 5-star leftovers. She taught me how to space lettering without having to turn to the hated ruler. I learned about amazing breakfasts, and that some people even have breakfast dates. And I learned great things about homemade pot pies and cast iron pans. I had many experiences of one of my favorite parts of loving other people. Learning to love or appreciate things I always resisted because the people I learned to love do, and through their eyes I understand. Yellow and orange, long associated with the insanity and despair I felt growing up in my bright yellow childhood room, now started to catch my eye, maybe a gift from my lady. I learned more about fucking an ass with my hand. In the past, I'd always quickly done a strap-on, but with her, I wanted to feel it that way. She showed me the porn site she was on, taught me about water politics, and about the power and necessity for naked trans bodies in performance. I learned about places like public bathrooms and lingerie dressing rooms and how scary they can be for trans women, and how shitty and classist and gender essentialist it was that even after plenty of conversation, Ocento would only allow women with cunts, born or crafted, to soak their troubles away. For her birthday, I took her by surprise to Monterey for the night. She'd never been to the aquarium. We fucked crazy in the hotel room and then seduced the bellboy after complimentary breakfast. That's my birthday. A little birthday for me, a little birthday for her. We drove him into the woods and leaned him onto a fallen tree, and I went down on him while she rubbed his back and stroked his hair. He was so sweet and game. On the way back to the car, I pissed behind a tree, standing up the way I do when I wear a skirt. After we dropped him back at the hotel, we laughed about how perhaps he thought that I was trans, as people have periodically throughout my adult life. I bought her a pink and green princess cake. She wore a tiara all day. We went to the aquarium and fell into a trance, in love with everything the sea creates. She kept screaming, "What if we use up all our endorphins? What if we use them all right now and then never make any more?" Especially we loved the anemones and jellyfish, squeezing tight together, peering monsters into the glass, pinching each other through our dresses, at each new blue and pink and purple, jittering, multi-ciliated, undulating marvel we whispered in each other's ears. What if your genitals looked like that one? Ooh, 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 or that one. I was sitting on a plush couch, drinking a kombucha bought in anticipation of my arrival. She had dressed up more than usual this time, a slinky black dress with low back which prohibited a bra. Last time we had a cute moment where we realized that both our bras were made by the same company. I wear my good lingerie for her. I want her to think that I'm tasteful. It's not that funny. This time she had a Post-it note in front of her and a glass of red wine. We had a lot to talk about. We'd never met like this before, with discussion items laid out before us like a map. It was a new step in intimacy and understanding in our relationship. We've been seeing each other for a few years now already, ever since an acquaintance called and asked if I might be interested in meeting her friend. I look forward to her emails. She's full of joy, curious, and affectionate. I feel good around her and strive to make her feel good. I always go to her beautiful home, and first we sit in the living room and chat about art and work and travel and lovers. Her house is up a hill, and I like the luxury of taking a cab, now homobile, there and back. I often wear heels, but usually leave my big bag. One of the notes was about her changing body image, how she was unsure about all the new attention she got from people, including me, since her surgery. She didn't want to talk about that at first, so I just let her know that my intention was to help her know that she is beautiful and sexy, and that if my words didn't do that, I would stop, or she could tell me what would feel good to her, and that we could really talk about it another time. She picked the next subject. I saw the flyer for Girl Talk. I'm so impressed that you're so out about being a sex worker. I mean, that must be hard. Isn't it scary to come out to people about that? Oh, honey, probably not as scary as plenty of things you've done. She always pays for 2 hours, but there was going to be a long, important conversation before I followed her up the stairs to her bedroom. So this time, I gave her an extra hour on the house.